Blender is looks maxing their physics simulations, a motion designer at Shopify built a whole new Mograph app from scratch, and Adobe added a quality of life fix that anyone who works with deep After Effects stacks is gonna appreciate. It's Motion Mondays. Let's go. If you've ever had 15 effects on a layer and spent 10 seconds looking for the one that you needed, After Effects Beta just fixed that. In the latest build, you can assign color labels to individual effects in the Effects Controls panel, same as you already could label layers and keyframes. There's a colored swatch next to each effect name and an optional background tint on the whole row, both independently toggleable. So if you want to try it out, update your After Effects Beta and you can start organizing your things by color. So a motion designer got tired of waiting for the tools that he wanted and ended up just building them himself. Welcome to the age of vibe coding. So the app is called Caddis. It's free right now in beta and it's worth checking out. Mike Gaynor, the senior motion design lead at Shopify, who again is a motion designer, not a developer, created a GPU accelerated compositing and motion graphics app. It's got layered based timeline and a node graph baked right into every single layer. There are already 110 nodes in the beta, and you can save node setups as reusable recipes and update the entire project with color tokens instantly. Mike admits that it's not an After Effects replacement, and it won't even import After Effects projects either, so you'd have to rebuild them from scratch. But it supports standard video, audio, image, and vector formats on import, and exports H.264, ProRes, PNG, and EXR sequences, and web formats. Now, the app was largely built using AI tools, and it's got built-in AI nodes for things like depth estimation and matte generation processed in the cloud on a credit system. It's free in beta right now, and it's planned to launch in June for $129. Now on to some school motion news. We're closing in on 4,400 students, and we've got nearly 900 downloads of Node Ninja so far. That's a lot of people throwing some roundhouse kicks at some laborious Redshift material setups. Now, if you're on Cinema 4D and you haven't grabbed Node Ninja yet, it's free over at schoolmotion.com/node-ninja. Basically one click and it wires up your full material node graph automatically. Your UV context projection node, the open PBR material, ambient occlusion, all of it without touching a single node. Now, you've also got a couple of courses on the horizon to keep an eye out for. First up is Jonathan Winbush's Unreal Engine for Broadcast Designers course and Nickel 3D's very slick looking product visualization in Blender course. Both are going to be coming this summer, so stay tuned. Our next portfolio review is May 28th, so if you want some brutal feedback on your work, get ready and get signed up. And lastly, our very own Aharon Rabinowitz just finished an AI short film series called Fire and Ice: The Solera Chronicles. Aharon has 25 years in animation and VFX, and you can see that reflected in this film. It focuses on character performance over spectacle, which is a different approach than most AI projects you've probably seen. He's doing a 1-hour workshop with Curious Refuge on Tuesday, May 27th. That's tomorrow from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern, walking through the creative decisions and the workflows behind it. It's free to attend, and you can sign up over at Curious Refuge. Link will be in the description. AI upscalers are known for just absolutely destroying transparency. Go ahead, run a 3D render with an alpha channel through one and watch what happens to your edges. Well, that's exactly what Motion Upscaler was built for. It's specifically built for animated content and handles alpha correctly. It's an AI-powered CEP panel for After Effects that upscales PNG sequences with alpha mattes intact directly inside After Effects with no cloud uploads and no subscription. You can scale up to 2x, 3x, or 4x, and it's compatible with After Effects 2020 through 2026. You can grab it over at ascripts.com. Hannes Seth just dropped a free After Effects water sparkles preset on Gumroad, and the demo video alone is worth just checking out. It's pay what you want starting at $0. It's compatible with After Effects 2025 and up, and it's dead simple to install. You just drag it straight into the After Effects and presets panel. But the creator is actively working on fixes and responding to feedback, so it's worth keeping an eye on as it develops. Beeble just launched Canvas, a node-based AI compositor that automates things like rotoscoping, tracking, and VFX pass generation. And looking at the video example, it looks pretty legit. The interface actually feels familiar. It's node-based with kind of like an After Effects style layer editing environment. Now on the AI side, it uses Switch X and Switch Lite models to automate VFX path generation and background integration. It handles things like marker erasure on green screen shots without manual rotoscoping. And you can also generate image and video assets directly inside the canvas using Flux GPT-2 and Seed Dance. Manual nodes are there too, like curves, blur, paint, crop, and matte refinement. Now, what I think is interesting about Canvas is how much it looks like the tools that VFX artists are already working with, just with AI doing a lot of that grunt work underneath. Now on to some cool work from around the interwebs. First up is Canva's new Italian market campaign that stars a street pigeon who uses Canva to rebrand a failing trattoria, and it's all shot in stop motion by a former Aardman animator. The film was made with handmade puppets, sets, and props. Now what makes it worth noting is that Canva as a company leaves very heavily on AI in its products, and for this first major campaign for Italy, it went fully handmade. Pretty interesting creative choice for sure. Now, next up is a short film and music video from Japanese animator Yoko Yuki, produced at Koji Yamamura's Apraxinoscope studio in Tokyo with a track from experimental artist Honinman. It won the grand prize at the Tokyo TDC Awards, and Yuki's own description of it is probably the most accurate you're gonna get. When it shrinks and expands, it floats and it sinks, it separates but connects. It's completely hallucinatory and it's handcrafted, super cool kind of look, and it's one of those pieces that you just have to watch. And finally, TheLittleLabs, an LA-based animation and design studio, just launched a Kickstarter for Cloudy and Friends, an emotions play kit for kids ages 3 to 6, and maybe, 44-year-olds too. It's a storybook, a huggable Cloudy plush, and an activity and coloring book that also includes conversation prompt cards and a companion app as a stretch goal. The campaign has a $30,000 goal and closes June 17th. Now, I absolutely love this. I've always believed that as AI takes over more and more of the digital space, making real things, real products will become kind of a safe space for artists. Now, I know for me, it definitely has. If you've ever tried to do live action VFX in Unreal Engine and had to track the camera somewhere else first, well, Genesis just removed that step. It's a 3D camera tracking plugin for Unreal Engine 5.7 that runs full solves entirely inside of Unreal in the background with no manual tracking required. So previously, camera tracking meant going into Synthesize, Blender, Nuke, or whatever your tool of choice was. You'd clean the solve, handle the lens distortion separately, and then bring all that back into Unreal. Genesis handles all of it in Engine. Automatic scene reconstruction from tracking points, textured mesh and dense point cloud generated in minutes, and automatic lens distortion matching, which is the thing that makes solves actually stick instead of slide. So even the setup is handled in Engine too. You got real-world scale calibration, ground plane alignment, and background plate preview. It's 100% AI free and exports FBX for Blender, Maya, and Houdini if you need to bring that solve into another app. Path Tracer and Movie Render Queue are also supported for final output. Figma is where a lot of designers hand off prototypes to developers, and it just added an AI agent that lives directly on the canvas and knows your entire design system. The agent rolled out in limited beta, and Figma claims that it understands your components, your variables, and design tokens, so when you give it a prompt, the output will stay on brand and consistent with what you've already built rather than generating something generic. Now you can use natural language to generate multiple design variations simultaneously. You got bulk edit across frames in a single prompt. You can swap components, update typography, or convert designs to dark mode. It also reads Figma comments and turns them into design changes, which shortens the whole feedback to revision loop pretty considerably. Now, during the beta phase, there's no AI credits consumed, so if you're on an eligible plan, you can give it a test drive. So links in the description for that. Now on to our School of Motion Student of the Week, who is Bethany Vaughan, who is a marketing art lead at Electronic Arts. She already works in motion design. She took advanced motion methods anyway, and here's what she had to say about it. I've learned to tackle complex, multi-layered animations with deliberate intent, breaking down ambitious sequences into clear, bite-sized steps. Even with years of experience as a motion designer, this course significantly refined my skills, transformed my creative approach, and inspired me to experiment with techniques and tools I never knew existed. Now that last part is really cool. Bethany came in as a working professional and still found out things she didn't know about. You can check out more of her work at bethanyree.com, and you can find her on Instagram at BethanyRVaughan. Congrats on the awesome work, Bethany. Blender has never really had a great reputation for cloth and soft body simulations, unlike Cinema 4D, where the stuff is just fast and relatively easy to get running. Now, a simulation engineer at a Japanese fashion company did something about it. Ryoichi Ando at ZOZO released a free open source Blender 5.0 add-on built all around their context solver physics engine. The core feature is penetration-free simulation using finite element deformable sim, which means that meshes stop clipping through each other. The cloth solver is also strain limited, so fabric won't stretch unnaturally the way it tends to in Blender's default tools. The developer, though, is upfront about its shortcomings. It's slow, the UI is manual, and it's not a replacement for existing tools. But it's free, and community interest is what drives more resources from ZOZO, so go check it out. Realistic cloth tearing in Blender has always required workarounds, and Blender 5.2 Alpha is putting it directly in the native cloth solver. The implementation is powered by geometry nodes, and artists are already posting demos that look pretty awesome. Blender 5.2 LTS is still in alpha and expected to leave alpha on June 3rd, so these features are experimental and not yet production ready. You actually need to go and enable experimental features in the Blender settings to access them. But if cloth and fabric destruction is part of your work, probably worth testing out. And that's it for this week's Motion Mondays. If you found something useful, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. It helps more people find the show, and we'd really appreciate it. Now, again, all the links from today's episode are in the description and on the School of Motion blog. And as always, thanks for watching. Have yourself an awesome week. See you later.